alter the profile that drastically, but when you swallow it, you get a little bit of that, like, it doesn't taste like fuzzy peach, like artificial candy peach vibe. It's more like that soft, like, I don't really know. I'm not good at describing fucking taste profiles, but you know that vibe of a peach before the sour and sweet part. It's like that. I don't know how to describe it. It's like floral almost a little bit. The pink part, you know, like.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
See if I.
You will enjoy that shit.
What the fuck you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Quite the expert at trying to figure out what you're saying. 'Cause usually that's what
I know,
I'm
man.
doing.
Probably you have to do. I feel bad for you.
I put in overtime on that shit.
Yeah, between you and my wife, that's probably the most.
Oh God.
The most
bless
grievous
her,
distribution of work. Yeah, you poor bastards. Oh man, that sucks.
Sorry, we're here and well and surviving, so everything's
cheers to
good.
that.
We're drinking a fucking amalgamation of
Yeah.
of beer and coffee. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Yeah.
Wow, this is
a good one, eh?
fantastic.
It's very sour, but-
Shit. It's delicious.
It's nice, eh?
I think I like it more than Mam Up the Jash. Whatever the
I think
fuck
so.
it's called.
I think that, you know, when you drink the Jelly King, like the fruit iterations, most of the time, you get like a diminished like flavor profile comparative to the normal one, right? Like,
Yeah.
I miss the more like acidic flavor of the normal one most of the time. You know, like the one we were drinking just the other day. I think it's dragon fruit and pineapple.
Nice.
It's quite good, but
Yeah. Can't remember.
I don't know. It's hardly a sour beer, like in the sense that, I mean, have you tried normal Jelly King? Then you try that one. You're like, man, there's not much of a
If I've
comparison.
even tried that one.
I'm gonna keep it for the parties later in the month because I'm
Yeah.
sure that all of the ladies are gonna enjoy that beer. You know,
That's good. That's
when
good.
they want to try something. But
You know what I want to see
if you
more
want to
of?
strip your stomach lining with acid, it's
Oof,
not.
no.
It's not.
Well, that's what you want, right? Yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah.
I really like that that like cucumber one.
That one's good
shit,
too.
Like I want more shit like that.
It's quite
Like,
sour too,
it's-
though, as
it's-
well, right? Like
yeah.
that one's.
But it
very,
also like.
It's very. I think lactic is the word. It has a lot of lactic acid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also I get like a sense of like freshness. It's so like.
Me too, though.
like,
that's right.
Chill, right? A fucking nice cold cucumber.
I think
fucking-
intrinsically the acid does that to me too, though.
Yeah?
Like it feels like
Maybe for
it feels
you,
like
yeah.
cleansing when you swallow it. It feels like.
I'm a little more with the acid stuff. Like
Yeah?
like I like it, but I feel like sometimes it bothers me a bit. I get like
True. Excuse me, man. I'm just gonna open the door for.
no problem.
You entertain the folk. Friends, one moment. Make some sales.
We're doing things, because if you're not doing things, you're standing still. So, a wise man once told me, if you're not moving forward, you're standing still, or something like that. And you gotta keep moving. Even though I sit here and play video games for quite a while. That's okay. If you're here, you probably do the same thing. Really, what the fuck else are we gonna do anyway, right? What the fuck? Play some sick games like Scarlet Nexus and all the Souls like. Really just get into it. Good times. Hey, how you doing, man? Good. What's up? Good, man.
Is it all visible on camera,
No. Wait, let me check.
Where are you sitting right now?
No, we're good.
Cheers ahead of time.
Oh, cheers.
Yep.
And back to game. What was this game called?
This guy's a vigil. The longest night.
Vigil, the longest night. Interesting.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, thank you, man. Cheers, boys. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
I got coffee and beer.
I guess we can
Cheers.
fucking open her up then, eh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Afternoon and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. It's live and unleashed, not a numbered episode today. We're coming to you from fucking
Oh, I got this.
Where are we today?
I have no idea.
You can pick one. The Mongolian countryside.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, outside the tomb of one of the Khans, probably. That sounds nice, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
To talk to you about fucking video games, you know? They have great Wi-Fi here. Man, we left you off last time with some shit about the Souls-like genre. I think it was the 3D fucking category.
Yeah, 3D
Planning to
games.
go into 2D next time, and I think that, you know, for this more informal episode, we can just get into a little bit of the kinds of games like that we've been dabbling in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, coincidentally enough for me, Dark Souls 2 I booted up the other day.
That's great, man. Yeah, like, you know, after we were talking the other day, like, you know, I keep saying this to my wife. She's tired of hearing it. Like, fucking, I feel like I can't put time into something. You know, the only draw at the end of which is, like, the resolution of some guy's, like, life story, you know, or some fucking, you know, purely, like, mechanical satisfaction, I guess, right? Like, it's what fucking unites me in my detestation for Western games these days, and multiplayer fucking ones that repeat the cycle every hour or so. So, this being said, like,
I see a lot of that stuff going on.
yeah, Souls-like is a natural fucking home then, or JRPGs too, you know,
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
reasons we fucking talked about at length. Probably we spent a couple of weeks before this focusing on those, I'd say, right? Because
Yeah,
we were
actually,
both playing
leading up to it. We have
Yeah.
been kind of on a kick there. Just
Yeah, we were
railing
playing like
on,
you were playing a lot of Final
Scarlet
Fantasies
Nexus
and
Final
stuff.
Fantasy.
and-
Yeah.
fucking I played Xenoblade a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
I even
Octopath.
booted that up the other day. I've been
Yeah.
fucking dabbling
Yeah.
in everything, just
Yeah.
a little bit here and there, right?
Yeah, but Souls-like are good for that reason. You know, they really like fucking. They check all of the boxes. Like, if you're interested in playing something that's not fucking produced for the sake of satisfying a commercial or fucking subjective T-loss, you know,
Yeah.
then you. I
That
mean,
was,
we
that was really born out of that. Like, the whole idea of that game was, well,
I think
this
so, yeah.
isn't gonna make money, so hey, you got an idea? Let's hear it, right? Like, let's fuck.
There's an
they
interesting
gave up on it before it came out.
I think so. There's something to be said for this concept that, like, you know, in its very fucking description, it excludes a portion of the customer base. Like, not only is this somewhat of a fucking, you know, it's opening up like a fucking decoded flow, like a new space within an industry that we thought we'd seen the fucking entire breadth of. You know, that's how new stuff's born, right? When somebody has these ideas that, like, this is a format that we didn't think could possibly work when we're in an age that fucking maximizing profits is the goal. Like, how could you
Yeah,
exclude
how do you make
customers
these
and
concessions?
still,
Like,
like,
yeah,
fucking
or you
find
need
your
to
way
make
to the top
more
of the pack,
yeah.
right? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the game demonstrated that, though, of course, it's never going to be, you know, the most successful game around, because the mobile industry exists, and so does Fortnite and all that shit. That
whole different game.
you can
yeah.
still make a respectable place for yourself by making respectable things. You know, the good will still fucking sell, and that's nice, right? It means the universe isn't entirely out of whack, even if the fucking
Are you
systems
sure?
governing it or not
Yeah.
are pretty nefarious. Like,
Pretty
you can't extinguish, like, the root fact that, like, for something to succeed, it can't just be a fucking pile of shit, bro. Sorry, like, it's just the way she goes. Oftentimes it does happen.
Yeah.
But that's because of a narcotic quality of the shit more than
Right.
its goodness. I would wager, if we were to look at it in a fucking detailed sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But in this case, man, like, I don't know. I guess that's why I've been gravitating towards Souls-likes lately. You know, they in their very format, like the decision to make a game that requires something of you, like, I think it demands. I was thinking about this the other day. You know, one of my favorite philosophers there, this guy Maritain, talks about how fucking art is like a habit of the mind. It's like putting on a glove. It's like something that happens to your instead of, you know, to your body, like your hand in the glove. It happens to your mind. Like, you adopt this new clothing or form or disposition that changes you before. It's a habit, right? Like, the same way you become patient, it's a habit, or you're wrathful, it's a habit, etc. Any virtue or vice can be a habit. You know, in the same way, like, to play a game like this, you need to develop a habit, right? Playing a Souls-like game is entirely about that. You know, it's about, you know, as I've said in fucking other things we've written before, like, comporting with a ritual logic, right? Like, it has its own fucking, you know, internal consistency. And to go with this game, you know, unlike other ones that fucking make compromises and relate themselves to you, they accommodate you, they bend and break.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
yeah.
fucking, if the guy had a concept to communicate it, it's totally willing to prostitute it to your satisfaction, right?
That's why that Star Wars game, I know I keep
Yeah,
saying
that's
this,
why
but
it's at
that's
the
why
bottom of my
Jedi
list too,
Fallen
frankly.
Order,
Sorry.
yeah, definitely gets
Yeah.
relegated to
Yeah.
the bottom
Yeah.
of the list.
Whereas, like, in its pure
Barely
form,
scrapes
you know,
in.
I think this genre, this way of depicting a concept, you know, because materially to engage in it at all, you require a habit, like a fucking acquired one you have to develop with practice and fucking patience and also observation and intelligence, you know?
yeah.
this is fucking something of like, it sounds funny because, you know, it doesn't, it's not about like fucking how good you are at anything. It's purely a
Honestly,
gesture of fucking patience and
Yeah, a lot
and-
of it is
and-
even just
and
just-
intelligence,
just
right?
Time
Like,
sinking, just
yeah.
spending time, and something
Yeah.
like you could sink, you know, hundreds of hours into fucking Assassin's Creed, just do the same thing.
You
over and
could,
over.
but
or you
in
could
the-
just play a
just
ton
for
of
pure
hours.
mechanical repetition and tedium, right?
Yeah,
or grinding
yeah.
out fucking prestige levels in Call
This
of Duty.
just actually challenges
I
you,
think so
right?
here.
It, like,
but the
pushes you
time
to
is
your
not the
limits.
difference is you don't it's the time is not necessary. It's necessary if it doesn't click for you. But sometimes I'm
yeah.
sure you'll agree you go into certain bosses and the pattern just like makes sense. It's like a song you've heard before. You're like,
Yeah, well,
"Ah,
definitely.
yeah."
The more
You
you,
know?
play these games over.
Sure,
and over,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But even in the ones you first played, probably you
Right.
had a boss that was really easy for you, and I did too. And then we switch it around, and like you had ones that, you know, I'm sure we talked before about bosses that like I beat in one shot, like Gascoigne in Bloodborne.
I think
And
there
you
have
had a shit
been
time.
like one or two. Yeah, there's.
But then there's
maybe
definitely
one
ones
or
that you
two.
beat in
Yeah,
one shot that I had a
maybe.
shit time with
I think.
too. You
Yeah,
know, many times, like in all of these games we
that's
played
true.
together.
I
It's
do
not like
remember
it's-
having that back and
yeah,
forth
that
with you,
dynamic,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
it's just certain cases it clicks. So the time is not, I'm trying to say, like a necessary element of it. It's rather
Yeah.
the habit that you develop, and that habit is, it doesn't take per se like, you know, fucking time investment so much as just the observation and
Just
fucking
sort of,
commitment to the object,
yeah,
right?
You,
Like
you have to just sort of adapt to it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So I think this is interesting. Like I think this game fucking is fundamentally not capitalist in its design. Like it depends on something outside the metric of fucking, you know, value and desire.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on a coherent world with its own internal logic that you can ritually participate in. Otherwise, what the hell are you learning the pattern
what the
of,
fuck
right?
for,
Like,
yeah.
the world needs to be something that can have a pattern based on it for you to participate in it in a Souls-like fashion, I guess I'm trying to say, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the genre intrinsically, like fucking, you know, it can't be like a profit farm. You know, it can't just be a prostitute
No, it
genre,
wouldn't work,
right?
no.
Like it wouldn't work. It would be something else. Maybe you can distort it into being that, and maybe we can make the argument that.
On a
Anyway, so
smaller
you can see
scale,
where I
yeah.
would go with that. But I think that fundamentally, like that mode of demanding something of the reader versus accommodating them, it totally like violates the logic of you know, infinite growth, right? Like.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's instead the kind of thing that you would use
not a
if you had
boardroom
something
game,
to
yeah.
communicate, right? Like if you have a concept and you have very specific ways of, if you have a very specific concept rather that demands specific modes of expression, this is a genre that is perfect for conveying that, right? I would argue, you know, and that's why you play games like this, and they always have like, even the more goofy like anime like fucking fan service ones, they all deal
Like Neo and shit. Like
yeah, well, Neo probably in a lighter sense, but Code Vein in the most maximal one, I
okay.
guess I would
Yeah,
say. 'Cause
yeah.
It's got like, you know,
Code
really,
Vein's like practically a JRPG.
Yeah, yeah.
With all
But
that.
even games like this, like, not only are the mechanics such that they demand your orientation towards some fucking extraneous element, you know, like you need to learn the world in order to fucking parse it in mechanical or in gameplay terms. You know, it's not only that, but like fucking the games seem always to be about like that happening to people, like some fucking sense in which like people encounter some internal outsider, like the sense in which they find like that they're fucking being torn apart and they need to fucking transcend their own identities
Yeah.
to persist or whatever,
Like
right? Like
sacrifice themselves.
yeah, or
something
like they're
that,
you know
fucking-
like they're being like the fucking unkindled in fucking Souls who needs to like, you know, immolate himself in order to make the world whole again, or
Yeah.
fucking in Dark Souls where you need to leave behind your or in Bloodborne, excuse me, where the fucking guy needs to leave behind his humanity and become a transcendent sort of slug to leave the
fucking,
dream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or in Sekiro, where you fucking have to like fucking sacrifice, what's his name, Kuro's divinity, and fucking incarnate it in the person in this almost like super like Christ-like fucking mythos, you know, to heal like the dragon's like severed limb because he wasn't whole. I think
don't
there's
even
like,
remember because I did not make it there.
Yeah, I think
I
that-
watched some of the parts that you pretty much most of the ending and those scenes that you posted, but
I think like
I couldn't fucking-
in Sekiro
couldn't
the
do it.
dragon, like, you know, I think Kuro's like predecessor stole the dragon's like divinity, and he shows like marks on his body that his
Oh, really?
yeah, somebody tried to like rob his divinity and become like fucking, you know, god, like by these illicit means in this like pseudo satanic
That's how they
narrative, and
fucking
like
turn into worms and shit.
yeah, and that's right, and then the rotting like worms are leaking
Oof.
from heaven and shit like that, and like it's the job of your character to reunify like the fucking dragon essence with like you know, its heir and like Kuro, and like take it back to its home in the west and shit like that. But
Fucked up.
in all these cases there's this element that like You know, there's like a guy trying, like Gwyn. There's always like this like weird king figure or like despot trying to like make reality his like little playground, but reality has like more of it inside of it. It's like a stolen divinity, a stolen outside, and it like ruptures and bleeds out, you know? Or Mito and Code Vein, like all the games are always about that. They're intrinsically like metaphysical games, I guess I'm trying to say. About how humanity like tries to like conquer the universe by its own like imminent means, and it fails because the promise of revolution is false, you know? I say that that's the drama of being on the website there. This idea that like, yeah, well, we find that we're internally different. We're tending outside of ourselves, or we're like a process towards something else. We're going to burn up, you know? And how do people react? Well, they're like, fine, I'm going along with it. Let's see where she goes. Bigger things happen, right? Or they try and close the gate and say, no, it's mine, bitch. And they fucking, right?
Yeah.
They try and steal the dragon's limb. They try like Gwyn to fucking restore the Age of Fire and perpetuate it longer than it should go. They try like fucking the hunters in the dream, like who are aligned against fucking... Or like the moon presence, you know, to keep the dream going, right? Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say in Demon Souls when what's like the true ending? Is it when you kill the fucking?
I think that's the true ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Demon Souls is such a great example because
Yeah.
fuck, the old one is like
the
old one is the god that people worship to stave him off. You know, they don't realize that like the finite reality that they've fucking created, which did serve a purpose for a time, is bound to just die, right? Like to become something else, and they try to artificially preserve it, and that's why they become infested.
Because I killed him right away. I didn't even fucking. I just
the lady. Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
What's the other option though? You go
to just perpetuate the finite reality a little bit
just
longer.
Extend it.
You know. Yeah.
This isn't Death Stranding. I don't like that.
Yeah. Me neither. Yeah. But see, even Death Stranding has this. Of course, it has this element too.
Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Honorary mention, Death Stranding.
It's just this, you know, like the people, they used to say, the ancient Greeks, there's this question of the one and the many, like these famous philosophers like Heraclitus and Parmenides. Heraclitus, this guy who argues that there's only the many, and Parmenides argues there's only the one, and, you know, Aristotle comes along and says, well, fucking there's in fact, Plato too says, in fact, there's something like both, right? Reality is this weird chimerical fucking amalgam. And what does that mean for you and I in our little corners of it? Fuck. Well, whoever's right doesn't bode well for us.
Yeah.
Things are monstrous, you know? Things are scary, and people react badly and try and seal shit up, and they try to be like Gwyn or like fucking the Hunters or all of our examples here, right? Souls-like is always about this anyways, I'm trying to say. Like, last week we talked about, like, the fucking matter of a Souls-like, its gameplay expression, but I fucking really think it'd be difficult to find a Souls-like game that doesn't deal with these concepts, right? Like,
my personal least favorite, Star Wars.
Maybe that. Probably that doesn't.
That
yeah, probably that doesn't.
That one
because
doesn't.
it's made by.
I know it
it's
doesn't.
made by a bunch of Westerners.
It doesn't. Yeah, no.
Yeah. But even the indie ones like fucking Mortal Shell, fucking
Mortal Shell,
all these same
Mortal Shell was
shit.
great. I beat Mortal Shell. I'm happy to fucking. I finished that game.
That was a good game.
Yeah.
It was good. What a nice little bite-sized one.
Yeah.
It's a nice, healthy genre, I think. Like every year, 2 or 3 fucking really neat entries come out. But yeah, that was like some fucking digression about the I guess what the fucking thing is. But like we've been playing this lately. Hey, you first, man. Which one have you been playing?
Oh, I fucking booted up. Strangely enough, for no reason, but Dark Souls 2, the other night, Scholar of the First Sin, I believe. And I was blown away with like sort of the presentation, because I've dabbled in all of them. Like obviously, you know, I've beaten Bloodborne, but that's like, you know, probably my favorite one. But I've dabbled in, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 3 obviously is like the most advanced. It's the more recent one. It has, you know, the nicest graphics and all that visual shit, whatever. But 2 had like some cool fucking presentation at the beginning. I love the opening with the old ladies like prophesizing about what's
2 might
about to
well
happen.
be my favorite one.
They're laughing at you. They're like, you don't stand a chance.
Oh yeah, those are like, dude. Did you ever see those are the witches from Macbeth, man. Those are the
really?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck?
Did you ever see?
No,
pull up on Google.
Whatever you're about to say,
witches.
I have not seen it.
Surely they made you watch it in fucking school. Like the
I don't know, man.
Macbeth.
I was
MAC.
mentally not there, if that's the case.
Yeah, witches. There's like a famous scene from a movie, like it's directly lifted from that whole.
Really?
Bit. Yeah.
Wow. Are we videoing this shit? Beth Witches?
Oh, I mean, you can, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I'm just saying, like, it's not a stupid. It's another fucking game that people are like, oh, this is shit. It's fucking. But they're just fucking retards.
Yeah,
they're
they
little
have no
retards.
idea what the fuck you're talking
just
about.
illiterate. You can't fucking draw on any of the fucking imagery to the conclusions that the authors wanted you to, and somehow that's the fault of them and not you, right? Like, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, but-
people complained about things like
People
Dark
just
Souls
bitch
2.
about everything nowadays.
Shit, I use the word retard. We might have to fucking.
Don't worry about that.
Anyways, things like this is again a game about space and time breaking down, and people are like, you know what? I went up an elevator and there was some shit at the top that shouldn't have been there. What the fuck? This game's terrible. Like, bro,
What the?
of all the things to care
Yeah,
about,
right.
like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking. It was immediately like blown away at how good.
Yeah, me
I've
too.
started it before. I haven't really played much of 2, but I just didn't remember it, and it hit me, and I was like, "This is sick." And then I created the mage character.
Yeah.
I was just blasting dudes. I'm like, am I even still playing Dark Souls? This is so strange. But like,
Yeah.
And I wanted to
They
ask
did
you,
do a
like,
nice job with magic in that one.
yeah, magic is like viable in that. You can
It's the
play
most
through
viable in
yeah?
all of the Souls
It's
games.
like
Are you
easy
kidding me?
mode or some
It
shit.
is like
So
easy
people
mode, yeah.
fucking okay. Anyway.
It is kind of, but
I-
especially
like-
if you build it right. Yeah, it definitely. Is.
I
You
wanted
break
to
the
say
game.
like I didn't intend to play a magic character because it's
Do it. Just
easier.
play it easy mode
But I don't
and
even
blast
give
through
a
the
fuck.
game,
I'll-
bro.
yeah, if it's easy, then fuck it.
Hey,
I'll
you kidding
take
me?
it.
Dark
Give
Souls
it a
2 is
fucking-
especially the DLC has some rough bosses.
yeah.
Rough bosses.
I know Bloodborne was fucked up. The DLC.
It's easier than Bloodborne, I would say.
the DLC. The
Which?
Bloodborne DLC. I'm saying.
Oh, Dark Souls 2 is all around easier than Bloodborne. I think.
Okay.
I think all around, yeah. It's got like some challenging bosses, but the way that the role is built and stuff like that, it doesn't ask as much of you, right? They have to
Yeah.
make it more forgiving just because of the way the systems are. So, I think like Bloodborne and Sekiro get harder because you got to be faster. Like it's more demanding.
Yeah, Sekiro's on another level,
Yeah,
man. I
the
don't know if
patterns
I'll
are
ever
more
fucking-
they're more mentally like you can't say them back to yourself as much. When you're playing one of
Yeah.
these games and you're trying to say like
Was it
you-
more random and dynamic? I find that like whatever it is,
Sometimes, yeah.
I just can't nail down Sekiro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I've
that's right,
played it
yeah.
up to a certain point. And
they're more
bits.
rhythmic, right? Like these
It's
ones are
so
always like
difficult.
the guys never have like 7-hit combos. They have like 1, 2, 3, and it's always sometimes it's all weird.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Souls 2 is really good at this. Like sometimes Demon Souls, it was the most primitive one. They never had
Yeah,
weird
for
rhythms.
sure,
The
yeah.
bosses always hit you. It was always rhythmic, like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, okay,
And so you
yeah,
could
fair
block it
enough.
without even really thinking twice. But then they started
Although
to get
that,
tricky.
hold on, the fire one was pretty fucking
Yeah, true.
intense though.
That's
he was,
right,
he
yeah.
was
I never
pretty
even did
fucking-
that fight. You did
holy
that. You're-
fuck, the
you're a
flame
champ,
lurker.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was intense.
Yeah. But they went out of their way later to get like
To
confusing
really
with it. So like
randomize
to try and
things,
like
yeah.
make it so that okay,
Definitely-
you're gonna expect this, but we're
Yeah.
gonna fuck you and make sure that
Yeah.
you have to like remember this. You have to learn it, right? And so, as that happened, like number 2, I guess I'm trying to say was midway on the curve of that being
Mm-hmm.
implemented. It wasn't that severe yet. So you don't get to these bosses that like the combos are like puzzles in themselves. You have to memorize, like in Sekiro, right? Like I felt that way with the last boss,
Oh,
in
fuck.
Sekiro because his
Watch.
combos are so long and the way they were thrown together made it so that it was like a puzzle box. If you don't remember the parts well, then
Oh,
you only have so many mistakes, right? Like Dark Souls 2, they don't really have those puzzle box moments. It's more about just learning the frames on your dodge
on your
and like
dodge, yeah.
rhythmically. And they have a cool a tool in number 2, this ring you can wear that you're invisible for the duration of your dodge, which it doesn't really do anything. It sounds stupid, but the good thing is it shows you where your iframes are. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
That's
for that
weird,
reason.
eh? It's
Yeah.
just like a visual fucking like helpful,
exactly. Yeah, that's nice.
Interesting.
And you can adjust the iframes in number 2 with the poise.
That's
I think it's the
fucked up.
poise stat. I don't remember which stat it is exactly. Attunement. Fuck.
Yeah?
Attunement. I'm pretty sure.
And you can like what increase
the iframes. Yeah. Shit.
Your iframe time?
Yeah, man. More
That's
iframes.
that's weird.
And I think it adjusts it by like
That's like
almost
breaking the
fucking
fourth
30%.
wall. Like,
Yeah, it does.
that's weird,
It
man.
does a little bit,
Right?
maybe.
Like,
Yeah,
what
it does
the
break the
fuck?
fourth wall a bit. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool though. If it works, that's.
I
sick,
like
right?
that though, yeah. I don't know what it compares to. I think your starting dodge is a bit under most of these Souls games, and especially 3. But by the end, if you pump your fucking attunement, and there is a cap, don't even bother
Yeah,
too
okay,
far.
yeah.
Yeah. Look it up
You
though.
just
I
kind
don't know
of
what
bump
it is.
it up a little bit, right?
Yeah, bump it to the maximal point. Maybe you don't even need to get the very last frame or 2. It's not worth. It does give you more leeway for mistakes though, right?
Is that implemented in the game that it like tells you, or it's like a back end thing that
Shit,
people
I
have
don't think it
figured
tells
out?
you,
Doesn't
like,
that definitely doesn't.
if
tell
it
you.
does, I never fucking saw it in game. It's
You read it somewhere,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
These games are fucked.
yeah. Plot out always when you're gonna play a Souls game. Plan it out before. You're gonna fucking have a shit time if you just try and just
Just
like
cheese your way
fucking-
through it or something.
or even
shit,
just
yeah.
randomly distribute your stats. No, man.
I always do
Fucking plan it
that,
out.
but I mean,
Nah,
also
plan,
to be
bro.
fair, I haven't really beaten any.
Yeah, I
except
mean,
for,
but you probably have an
Bloodborne.
intuitive sense that, like, okay, I need a bit of health and endurance, and then I'm gonna do a
Yeah, I
damage
sort of
stat, right?
just
Like,
work it out. I mean, that's what I did in Bloodborne, and even in
but you-
Bloodborne, I had no idea what I was doing. But I
you
sort
see
of
some
worked
people
it
though,
out,
they're like,
yeah.
I'm gonna put 1 into every stat, every level. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, no, you
No,
can't.
yeah, you can't do that.
Theoretically, like that's
That's
not how
how
it's
you-
built.
that's how you break
It's
a
not like a
character, yeah.
logical error. Like, you can't know that without having played it before. It's not like 2 + 2 is 4, right? You have to. But like in these games,
I mean,
they've
but
never been made that way.
At the same time, I would have thought that like an idiot when maybe I first started playing
No,
Bloodborne.
that's what-
but-
'cause most games-
But if you
I don't know,
if you
but-
look at which stats are going up, because you can see before you spend the stat what it increases, you sort of figure like I need
You
to
have
do
to
this
play it
much
purposefully.
damage. And,
You have to
I'm
build
not gonna-
purposefully, rather. Like
yeah,
you-
like I'm not gonna put it
Yeah.
into magic if I don't use magic. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna pump it into strength, which
Yeah.
is what I use.
The only game that doesn't have this requirement is Sekiro, obviously, because
Sekiro,
you
yeah,
have a
true,
build, right?
true.
Like, but even Sekiro, you have different ways to spend your skill points. You could have very different reliances by
there's
the
a
end of the
pretty
game,
big
right?
tree there.
Yeah,
with
man. You could
fucking-
specify, you could rely heavily on like all those fucking buffs and like the
Yeah.
combos and shit. I never did though. I hate that. I hate weird situational stuff. You know,
Yeah,
I hate
it's
it.
too much. Like you got to think like if it's.
I just
that-
want to own core skills and that's it.
Yeah,
You know?
you're not gonna remember to use it,
Yeah.
or if it's a very
that's
specific
right, yeah.
thing, like it's just.
That's why I hated to parry in old Souls games because it was only situational. Some things didn't
Yeah.
accept it, so I was like,
See, but like, and I agree with you. Like that makes sense, especially because if you keep your equipment under 50, you can roll like crazy,
Yeah.
right? You just do that, but.
it makes it
Playing
easier,
a ton
though.
of Sekiro and then going back and playing
Yeah.
Souls, I find that like, and I'm not very good or skilled at like parrying, but like
It's probably easier now.
I'll jump into that game and just bang my
Yeah,
first
for
one
sure.
perfectly,
For sure.
and it's fucking. And I haven't even beaten Sekiro, but it helps, right?
It makes the bosses
forced
much
you
easier
to
too,
kind
though.
of,
Much easier.
you know?
They give you sometimes like a huge free damage if you parry, then you do
Yeah,
the
oh,
whatever it
yeah,
gives you.
yeah.
Yeah, like a lot
It
of
is
free
effective,
damage.
yeah,
so.
for sure.
Yeah, it's some of them are probably designed to be made. You figure some of those fights that feel really grueling, like for me, Orphan of Coast there in Bloodborne.
Mhm.
I fucking shit, bro. That fight was grueling. It's just grueling. I was like, this can't be this way, but it's because you're supposed to parry and take him
Yeah.
fucking a quarter health at a time, right? Instead, I sat there chipping, and every mistake for me was like the end of the fight.
Hugely
You know?
detrimental, yeah.
Yeah. So.
What the fuck did you play? You've been playing this game. We got the footage up here now. What's
This is Vigil, the Longest Night. Yeah.
what drew what brought
Fuck,
you
what
to
drew
this?
it to me.
Yeah.
Well, complicated chain of events actually got me to realize that it existed. But what got me to play it
Twitter
is that it's a
argument.
fucking a game explicitly designed to ape Salt and Sanctuary and Bloodborne, like a 2D Bloodborne essentially, instead of Dark Souls, like Salt and Sanctuary. The art is designed after
Oh, it looks like it. Those are those big
Yeah,
dudes
man.
that like fucking
Exactly, yeah.
just smash you.
Handmade Chinese paper crafting, like fucking
Cool.
like 17 crazy, really awesome looking bosses. It's made by an Eastern company and not Americans. Standard things that would fucking draw a man to a game. I looked into the lore, and it's again the exact kind of thing that I would be into, like I just described. It's got all
Where's
the bosses.
the developer located?
Taiwan.
Do you know? Oh, Taiwan.
Yes,
Ah, that's interesting.
beautiful. It's a beautiful game, and it plays really well. The cool thing is there's 4 different weapon types, and each of them give you a different, not only attack pattern. Obviously, there's only really 4 different attack patterns. That means, unlike Souls, which has thousands. There's
Yeah,
only 4,
yeah.
but it also gives you 4 different sort of L2 secondary abilities, and for the daggers, I love the daggers. It gives you a second dodge where you can like use your
course.
one one allows you to roll, but this one gives you iframes while you stand in place,
Just speaking
so
your
if
language
you want,
here.
you can you can dodge by just staying there, and the character does this little animation where she ducks instead. But it's cool because you can then, if you're fighting a boss, your DPS doesn't have to diminish when you you don't have to reposition and.
I love the floating text like
Yeah, me
dodge
too.
and block.
Me
Like
too.
reminds
Me
me
too.
of like a JRPG.
Me too. It's very nice. It's easier
Cool
too, though.
shit.
This one has an easy mode actually.
Oh really?
Yes,
Oh.
it does. It's a Metroidvania, I guess, first and foremost.
Yeah,
not
true.
exactly.
That's it's funny. The Metroidvanias and like
a progression
Souls like
style,
they
I
kind
guess,
of
but-
they always
yeah.
like cross over. Right?
Almost
Lately,
every
anyway.
2D Souls-like is a Metroidvania,
Yeah.
or vice versa, except for the Metroidvanias that are shooting based, I guess, right?
I guess if you think about it, it's not so different from a third-person game like
Yeah.
Souls, where you don't really
Yeah.
have a map.
Yeah.
Some of these games sometimes give you a map, but really you're just exploring and unlocking it the same way. It's just that it's not on a 2D plane, right?
That's right.
So,
Exactly.
it
like that.
makes
yeah, that's
sense,
what
yeah.
the Souls, even Sekiro's like that.
Yeah.
Itemized access to certain areas.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking A.
This one has this weird shit where your character is like this, just like some fucking holy knight or some shit, supposed to defend the world against this fucking longest night and bring back the sun because it's nighttime and it's lasting forever apparently.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And there's some weird shit where you beat this boss in another dimension and time restarts and you come back like 50 years later and like all of the pathways are changed and you go to new zones and your sister doesn't recognize you anymore. Like it's going to take a bit of time to tease out the story there, I tell you, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The skill tree is obviously not too complicated, just enough that, you know, you can adjust interesting metrics though, right? Like you can give yourself more iframes on the dodge. You can give yourself more damage for your main strikes and for your triangle ones, and you know, it's actually useful stuff, not like minimal, like 5% on my fucking attack I'm never going to use or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting game. Fucking
it's
first
good
time
stuff.
I heard of it was today when I saw that you were playing it.
Yeah, man. It came out a little while ago too.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
This will. I guess this is going to be on our list for the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Where we'll be.
It's very good. This
we'll
is
be really diving into the 2D ones, right?
It's very good. Yeah, I think that. I'm trying to think.
Beforehand.
Salt and Sanctuary is really good as well, but this game is based on it. It's an iteration, an evolution of it,
Yeah.
and probably, you know, looks better at this point. Although we'll have to see number 2 to fucking see how that turns out, right?
Yeah.
Probably
this
is.
game looks cool. I'm kind of digging there.
Yeah.
The whole aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
It does look very Bloodborne-ish with all the fucking tombstones and the
That's right.
cobblestone fucking, you know.
And you know, it feels like there's a lot of Souls-like games, but if you make a list of it, bro, like compared to most things going on in the industry, there's not that many. It's more like a small clique of people making a fucking.
It's definitely the freshest
it's
thing.
niche as fuck,
if you
man.
think about it, yeah, like it's.
And if you look at the completion rates for these things, man, nobody finished these fucking games. You know? Even if they sell, I
It's
can't
guilty.
imagine. Like, yeah. Even me for most of them.
Yeah.
It's niche as fuck. It's not. It's
cool,
not
though.
what they
It's
painted
some
in
of
the
the-
media,
it's-
right? As some kind
yeah.
of like, you know, overdone. Nobody overdoes them. These are tiny companies.
No.
How many guys are working for these guys? You can't even find information about them in the American internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, sure. If it's a company from Taiwan, they probably want to suppress fucking all kinds of shit from that side of the world.
but they're tight, man.
Right? That's cool.
really
though.
good.
Yeah,
I-
that's
I-
awesome. It's better than Genshin Impact. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And there's a few other really cool ones, buddy. There's a game called Eastern Exorcist. It's a Chinese-made one, which is very cool, exactly like this. Art also like a water painting. It's beautiful. Check that shit out too. I think I
Yeah.
may have streamed a little bit of it. If not, I will soon.
It's so funny. I didn't even know. Obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, China knocks everything off, right?
Oh,
They
yeah.
make a
Yeah.
copy of everything, so it doesn't surprise me. But we went through our list last week and never thought to
Yeah.
see if there. I guess you went home and did some more homework after and found these games, right?
Yeah,
And
these
found
are all
that they're-
2D. There's no more. These are all the 2D ones. Like I had
Right,
these on
yeah.
there before, but I never played them. You know.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I started to go in and dabble in a couple of them. There's one
Mhm.
other really interesting one that's like this cyberpunk future one too, which you
Mhm.
might be interested to see.
Yeah, that sounds sick.
Yeah. A number of really cool things out there, buddy.
Yeah,
These kind
that's
of games
gonna
are nice to
be-
play in between JRPGs, I guess, you know? Sometimes when you feel bored and not demanding, not
Yeah,
like
it-
nothing's demanded of you, rather,
Mhm.
it's good to go into something like this and just go more intuitively through the world and not deal with dialogue and all those humanist setbacks. you
Yeah,
know?
that's true. They're kind of nice contrasts in terms
Yeah.
of not just difficulty, but like you said, right?
Approach and tone and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sick. I'm excited to
Yeah.
maybe try one before we really get into it.
Yeah,
on,
there's
on
a
the
fucking,
podcast.
I wonder if there's any other ones I could fucking tell you about. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Good day on Twitter, apparently. Got a bunch of followers today.
Nice.
So it's like just by telling people they're idiots.
That's how you do it sometimes.
It's the only skill I have in the whole universe. bro.
It's the only thing you're good at.
Oh, it's
Calling people
called
out.
Darklight. Darklight is fucking very cool. That one's nice. And Ender Lilies was the other one we talked about last week.
Lilies, yes. That one
Yeah.
I actually really want to get
Yeah.
into.
I do too, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
looks
small
sick.
team as well. The cool thing about these 2D ones is, I don't know, man. I don't want to make these extravagant claims. I know,
Mhm.
actually, I really do. I like doing that, but
kind of
man,
do, yeah.
what
Okay.
what better genre is there right now that independent creators are working in the video game space? You know, that's not just like shill crap that people are looking for Twitch views on, right? Like,
It's true. If you think about it, the whole indie movement came out of 2D games that have eventually progressed into shit like this, right?
yeah. Like these games, fucking people like, oh, they always have this like weird like fucking pseudo philosophical story like the sun and the blah blah. But man, it's not fucking stupid man's game. It's like people calling Ricky on Trailer Park Boys an idiot. It's like, yeah, that's the point.
That's
Like,
the whole point, yeah.
good luck fucking thinking up a cogent mythology that actually has some like fucking, you know, metaphysical themes that a idiot like me can sit here and make something of, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not nothing. It's not just fucking nonsense, right? And on top of that, one that plays well. Holy shit, we've all played enough that don't play well to know that
Yeah.
that's not fucking easy either, right? These are intimidating genres to create, and you have to nail the feeling of everything, you know? It's like
true.
making
They're
somebody
already
playing
not,
an
like-
instrument well. Like it's
Yeah. they're not successful off the like right out the gate.
No.
You know, there's some extra pressure there to fucking
Even like if
make
I
something compelling.
intuitively, I would think if you're gonna fucking start creating, you do something turn-based, something that doesn't require physics and movement and all of these fucking fine tunings, like, and more just representational, right? But this
Yeah,
is
that's
tough.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you just got wrecked.
Yeah, it's.
I think
Yes, I am dead. Yep.
we are approaching
Approaching the end there.
timeout point.
Yeah, that's a good fucking time, man. Souls-like games, beautiful. Played the
That's
shit out of
awesome.
that. I think that's the kind of genre that's fucking, you know, to just fucking reiterate that point from the beginning, it's built to communicate a point to you that the guy had in mind when he built such a thing in the first place, right?
Mhm.
The fucking good of the work is the purpose of designing a Souls-like game.
Yeah.
And it demands something of you to be able to enjoy it, whereas in verse sense, the fucking your good is the fucking purpose of most games, and they're willing to break themselves for that end too. Kind of depressing. Commodity gaming. Play your fucking Souls-like instead, I say.
Definitely.
And yeah, we'll be back on Saturday with a more exhaustive list of all of the 2D Souls-likes that have ever existed,
As we
actually, because it's a
compile-
relatively young genre. Yeah, it's,
we're putting together like the fucking encyclopedia.
this
like
is a great
the
thing
little
because nobody does it,
compendium,
and
you know?
we've been around since it's, again, this is our niche,
Yeah.
buddy. That's okay, yeah.
It's awesome. I love it.
It'll be good, yeah. There's a nice fucking beefy list of 2D Souls-like since 2016, which I think was probably one of the first ones. Salt and Sanctuary there. Can't wait to bring that to you guys on Saturday. Please take care. Fucking play your video games.
Fuck yeah.